All right. Good morning, YouTube here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully, everybody had a great week this past week. And if you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead about 15 minutes. All right. Just getting things ready to roll. Morning, Mr. Bulgy. Let's see what we got today. Let's see. There we go. Let's see here. Morning, Waylon. Josh, good morning. It was a hot one yesterday. 82 is what would show it here at my place. Morning, Jim. 82. Tangy. It is. Morning, Brian. Morning, Dave. Morning, Karen. Yeah, so it got windy yesterday here. It got way windier than what it was supposed to. It's a beautiful morning right now. Just wish we had some moisture. Yeah, we need a rain. We need a big. We need like a week-long soaker to get things caught up here, is what we need. A big fire over by Hettinger Lemon area. 8,000 plus acres burnt up. One shot cap. Good morning. Eric, good morning. Yeah, I had a. Doesn't take much for a fire to start up here. Seen there's been a lot of small ones. I got my fire truck yesterday. I went down to the department, got mine brought up to the ranch here. Got a whole plan, got a whole fire prevention plan around the area for mutual service and what have you. Yeah, you guys are going to get the wind that we had yesterday, Scott, and probably eastern side of the Dakotas, and you can have it, man. It's been a windy week this week. Holy moly! Could you imagine if we start getting lightning? Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's see. What else is going on in your world here? I think I'm halfway caught up with stuff, except fencing. Fencing. Of course, that's kind of a ongoing thing. Especially with this old ancient wire. Check. Test 1, 2. There we go. Yeah, fencing never does end. I wherever I have my cows in, I usually go around it at least once a week. And just as a precautionary type thing. And it never fails. There's a top wire here or something's broken somewhere. I got to get my small group of cows. I got to get them moved to a different pasture. Pretty tough last year when the grasshoppers got to some of these calving pastures pretty hard. And I got to get them moved, get them on some different something. So there, yeah. Snow didn't wreck any fences. No, it didn't. That is true. Yeah, there was a lot less than a couple years ago when they got that snow April storm. But yeah, Always a bright side. Didn't wreck any of the fences, however. The cows are sure reaching. Waiting for that green grass. It's trying to green up a little bit. I mean, there's some green underneath a little bit of that older grass, but it's pretty tough here. Sitting in the blind, listening to the turkeys gobbling. Good. Is the old barbed wire worth anything? I don't know if people collect that still or not. I'm not sure. We have some stuff in that south pasture that I don't know how. I mean, that stuff is old. That's got to be over 100-year-old wire there, but maybe that's not as old as I think it is. Bunch that's pushed over from cows that I've been pulling it straight and heading wood post back into it. Yeah. A little leaning fence. Just put them on the other side, let them reach through the other way. Oh, let's see here. What is? Never even looked at that. I should probably get some turkey hunting in too. Haven't been busy calving. So I need to see here. Should get out and do that. I like spot and stocking though. Today's the opening day. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad I didn't get any done before. Yeah. You don't own the other side, you know. Don't let them know it, though. You can always let somebody else know. We've got a lot of fencing to do this year with all the wind we've had. Elm trees have been hard. Oh, man. I'm telling you the same thing here. There's so many of the old trees that are broken over on some of those draws. Yeah. I got the same situation. My chainsaw is gonna have more hours on it this year than most. Let's see. Let's get old Levi hooked up here. See what his. He's smarter. He's got a good paying job. His dad fixes fence.
Good morning.
Isn't that right? You got the smart job. You got a high paying job, and then you have your dad fix fence. So you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's not quite how that works. He reminds me of that every time I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah. Dan Brown, good morning. Mr. Mayor, good morning.
It is a beautiful morning.
It is. It looks like it. I haven't been out yet.
Wish I was sitting in a ground blind hunting turkeys.
Yeah, that's where Wayne is, I guess. Sitting, kicking back, listening to the turkeys gobble.
That would be fun. I've been watching them on my trail camera this morning. They're strutting in front of my blind.
You got a whole month, a little over a month to do it, though.
Yeah, I will be out there Tuesday. I promise you that. No. As soon as I get off the nights here.
Well, I appreciate you getting on early here with me and not sleeping through.
No problem. I'm gonna sleep good after we're done because I didn't sleep much yesterday. I went to the Capitol.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's what we're talk about that a little bit here too.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah, I see that.
It was a win.
Except for them taking our antelope gratis tags away.
Yeah, and I went and looked at the guys that voted that in, and for I should say our district, meaning for the ranch, both of our representatives of the House voted yes on that. So we'll have to talk to Karen and Holly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand why they would piss off the landowners even more.
And I know their argument's going to be it's more opportunities for the hunters, but it's not, because in the end they're not going to have anywhere to hunt them. So
yeah,
they don't understand that though. It's gonna take a bunch of people complaining, but I know this coming year, I've been not applying for a gratis antelope tag, so it would provide opportunities to guys that drew the tag that have waited 8 to 12 years. Now, going forward, I'm not going to allow anybody on, and I'm going to tell them call the game and fish.
Yep. Yeah, call the game and fish. Go hunt on plots land.
Yeah, there's so much of that in our unit.
Yeah, go hunt in the federal because there's so many deer in the Badlands or antelope in the Badlands. Yeah, it'll be an interesting concept on that. I don't know.
We'll be the bad guy though.
They're always making the private landowners out to be the bad guys.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Always.
Every time the results come out for deer, elk, moose, antelope, people are always complaining about the landowners, and it's like, goodness gracious, you guys don't understand.
Somebody said that to me the other day, and I said, okay, here's the Grand Forks Herald. They put out everybody who got an elk tag. Now, you see how many people are landowners and how many landowners that didn't get them, and how many people that did get a tag that isn't a landowner. You'd be surprised, and they were like, holy cow, we thought landowners just got them automatically. I'm like, nope, they do not.
How many years have you applied for a gratis elk tag?
Hold on. Stations 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock Mountain Time or Central Time on mark. I put in for forever for the landowner side of things. Here's the issue, though. In order to get the land that I had deemed as elk habitat, took forever. While some people just called up and said, I want this as elk habitat. They're like, okay. I've had maps, I had photos, I had 3 different letters of confirmation of people that got elk on the property. And it still took them like 2 years to say, okay.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. That was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, they should give you a gratis elk tag. If you ain't got no elk, you ain't gonna fill your tag.
Well, the elk gratis it's open to the whole unit.
Yeah,
that's the difference on that. Yeah,
I don't know if I agree with that one all the time either, because it's like, oh shoot, then why don't we do that with deer?
No doubt.
I feed the deer that end up on the neighbors.
Yeah.
Or I should say now I will be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've learned a lot about the legislature in the last couple of years, and I know I was visiting with some of the guys yesterday. I was like, I wouldn't want to be a senator or a representative like this. This is not something I'd want to do.
No, I'm 50-50 on it. I don't want to do it because of the time it is. It's, they're looking at going every year now and shortening it up a little bit. Maybe that would help. But for what I do, it's just not feasible for me to be away that long because, even that, you got special sessions, you got other committee meetings, you got all this kind of stuff. That's a long ways to Bismarck.
Oh, man.
It's a long ways.
And a long day.
Yeah.
I know. Even watching the guys yesterday, while they're debating this, while they're discussing it across the board, half the people are sitting on their phone.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't care. I already know how I'm going to vote. I don't want to hear this.
Yeah. Some are sleeping and.
It'd be a long couple months doing that stuff. I just wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
And then you're going to piss people off because no matter how you vote,
you're
going to make somebody
upset.
mad.
Yeah.
You're not selling ice cream.
Yeah. Gene Cox says maybe you remember the Harding County time when most of West River was closed over something like this. Same thing about 15 years ago. I do remember that. And it's going to come down to something pretty serious. And then, it's
as far as I've seen, I think South Dakota is way better than
they work together a lot more. Yeah. Well, especially after that situation when, most of Harding County closed up, they were like, okay, let's start talking to them. Let's work with them. And that's all it takes is sitting down and, advisory meetings are not the sit down type because it's the same thing over and over. Well, we'll look into that.
Yeah, and they never do.
Yeah.
Granted, I wouldn't want to work for them either. I mean, it's the same thing. You're not selling ice cream.
Yep.
You're going to piss people off, and the problem is you really don't want to piss off the private landowners.
No, you can only have so much of that. But, you also have to look at the non-resident landowners, like my neighbor that put his whole thing into plots. He just doesn't care. He really doesn't care. That thing is just trampled over. I mean, I've never seen so many people in my life just road hunting around just that one section because there's a road around it, right?
Yeah.
And they just sit there and sit there and sit there, and it's like, yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, most of the antelope, at least in this country here, are in stubble fields and in the fall time anyway, so.
Yeah, it's
South Dakota has a game commission. You are correct, yeah. And they do have some farmers and ranchers on it, and that's the thing, do we go to a game commission, and then if we do, who sits on it, and how do you get the right people that you want sitting on that commission?
Oh yeah,
Right?
exactly.
I mean, it could be scary and get a whole bunch of people that don't think your way and don't support the private, so that's a scary way too. It is, but it seems like it's working for them really well down that way. So far.
Yeah, they have a lot of things down there that I really like.
Yeah. Well, look how many bills did they have on this year? It's like 7.
That's South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm not.
It was just like a handful of them, and it was all like just basic cleanup stuff. It wasn't anything huge, So, all right, we are 35 seconds away there, Levi. I'm going to turn you down. Stand by. Stations. 25 seconds to show time. 25 seconds on mark. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, heard all across the Great Dakota Territory and stations like KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota, KOLY in Mobridge, the hot spot for fishing, I hear. K-Fire 550 celebrating 100 years, KCJB and Minot in the Western Edge, KLTC. Good to have you along here this morning as we get a beautiful Saturday morning here at the ranch. Hopefully it is in your area. It is dry across the area. Please be careful. Any type of fire between Hettinger and Lemon, South Dakota, about a little over 8,000 acres burnt there. So just be aware as we're on the opening day of turkey spring season in the North Dakota side of things. Levi Nelson, world extraordinary adventurer, joins me here today. The man that keeps the power going on because coal is where it's at. Right, Levi?
You bet.
Everybody, anytime I sit in an auction sale and I sell like, what was it? Electric lawnmower. I always call it coal powered lawnmowers and coal powered cars because you can't charge them if you don't have that. So there you go. Thanks for keeping the lights on, my friend. How you been doing?
Good. Been busy. It's been a busy spring and it's about to get busier.
You're not turkey hunting this morning, I see.
I'm not. No, on night shift this weekend, so the turkeys are going to have to wait till Tuesday.
Let me ask you this. Archery, shotgun, which one is yours?
I like archery.
Yeah. Seems like that's kind of the big thing up in this area, but you go into southern states, it is all about the shotgun.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of them guys, they don't hunt out of blinds. They hide, they sit against trees, and even a lot of them guys don't even run decoys. It's just mouth calls and shotguns and kind of a different game than we play.
So how do you set up? Tell me how you turkey hunt.
I learned everything I know about turkey hunting from John Arman. He took me when I was younger, and so I hunt the same way he does. I hunt in a ground blind with decoys about 10, 15 yards in front of the blind and try to set up near their roost or on their way back to roost, and a little bit of calling that's not that great, but does the trick.
You said you have a game camera. You said you're actually having some coming across your blind right now, huh?
Yep. So I have a food plot from last year that we didn't let the cows in real long this year, so there's still a little food in it. And I got camera right on my ground blind, and this morning I was watching them come in right as the sun came up. It was a little disheartening to know I wasn't sitting out there.
They'll still be there when you get off on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They'll still be there. What type of broadhead do you use? Expandable?
I use expandables. I use expandables with everything I shoot.
Okay.
So I just go with a bigger diameter cut.
This
year I'm going to use the 2-inch Rages.
Rage. I think I'm the only guy that still uses fixed blades.
I think there's still quite a few. I think Wayne Moose still shoots fixed blades.
Does he? I'm a fixed blade guy. I don't know why, but it seems like I trust them. They're there, ready to go. You know, I mean, but I also do a lot of spot and stalking too. So I get through I had issues with expandables getting caught on bullberry bushes or anything else when I was spot and stalking one time, and they opened up prematurely. And didn't quite work for me on that. So, well, I'll tell you what, a big win on the North Dakota legislative side for private landowners yesterday on one situation, one bill anyway. Talk to us about that with the some people call it a baiting bill, some people called it the anti-hunting bill. I can't remember what number it was.
2137.
2137. All right. Tell us a little bit about what happened. You sat actually on the floor and got to be part of this whole situation. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so I was able to make it in there yesterday as they were going to vote on the amendments, and then they ended up voting on the actual bill. And there was 2 sets of amendments that they wanted to vote in. Both of them were lucky that they got shut down, and then the bill went through clean.
So let's explain what the bill is first. This was the policy prohibiting or restricting the use of supplemental feed on private property for hunting big game animals. And then they wanted some of the amendments was like you have to stay like, what was it, 50 yards?
50 feet.
50 feet off of your fence line. And what else was an amendment in there?
It was 300. I think it was 300 or 500 gallons of feed. So those 2 were the ones that were in one amendment, and then the other one was for the Game and Fish to keep doing their surveillance and their studies on CWD and then report it back to the legislature, which I thought was a joke because it's not like the Game and Fish is going to quit researching it, and I don't want them to quit researching it, quite honestly. I just don't want them to implement premature regulations and regulations that aren't being proven useful anywhere else. But if they want to research it, I'm not against that.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to push a bunch of propaganda that we're paying for either.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird deal. And like our representatives were stating that we're against this amendment, they're going to keep researching it anyway. And trust me, if there's an issue, they're going to be screaming it from the top of every roof. Yeah. We don't need to have them report back to the legislature about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll know immediately on it. So all those amendments got thrown out. And so it was just a clean bill that came through that said you can supplement feed on your private property, and you can go up to the fence line if you want to do it.
Absolutely. Okay. As you should, because I mean, it's been talked about for how long now with this is where it starts. The next thing you know, you're not going to be able to plant your row crops next to the neighbor. And Representative Porter was pushing that there's been people with cattle and horses that their animals are getting out because they see a bait pile. And he said, no matter how good your fences are, if they see a bait pile, they're going to get through it. I about lost my mind when I heard that.
Yeah.
We have cattle border cornfields. Our fences keep them in.
Yeah. I that's just a cheap way of trying to get something. It's a scare tactic. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a big hit on private property rights is what it looked like to me. I was surprised there wasn't more property rights people going after and supporting or helping with the fight on this.
Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of support. There's a lot of people putting in their time and efforts, reaching out to our representatives. But I have to a huge thank you to Dusty Backer,
Yeah.
because Dusty has been pushing so hard for this for years, giving up so much time and money pushing for this. And I mean, like I told him yesterday, we won.
Yep, we
I
did.
mean, this is
Yeah.
huge.
And he has, he's been on my show many times, been on a lot of other ones, just preaching it and telling the truth about it. And not only that, he sent me a jar of his honey. And
oh, isn't that good
it
stuff?
is unbelievable.
That is the best honey I've ever had.
So I hate to switch topics here, but it reminded, as soon as I put a spoon in there, and as soon as it hit my tongue, man, it took me back to a flashback as a kid. We had this old house that had double doors in it, and there was a beehive in there. We had a bee guy come and take that out, and he gave us the fresh honey. And that's what it was. It was like, it's not processed like all this stuff you buy in the store, and it was unbelievable. So,
exactly.
yeah.
And I know, like, he was talking on your show before about how they do honey and they mix it. I'm pretty sure this is just the pure honey that they got out. It's not mixed.
No, it is absolutely.
It is a little messy, though.
Tell me honey that isn't messy.
The ones in the bears, so you can pour them out better.
Oh, good grief. Good grief. I don't worry about that. If I'm eating honey, I'm just assume I'm going to get sticky here. Like one of those little kids. It's always sticky here. Now stand by here, Levi. We're up against our first break. We'll come back more, talk about a little bit more on the legislative side, and then see what he's doing hunting in Africa. Coming up next.
Celebrating 25 years of results, Piper's Auctioneers is your trusted partner for farm and heavy equipment auctions across the upper Midwest. Coming up next, Piper's Regional Equipment Auction in Steele on April 15th and 16th, the Lee Farm Retirement Auction in Berthold on April 17th, and an incredible farm retirement auction in Drake alongside a commercial real estate and estate equipment auction in Mandan on April 24th and 25th. For full details, information, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions across the region, log on to pipers.com.
Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch and Spring Angus out of Ekalaka, Montana remind you about their sale coming up April 25th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, Bowman Livestock Market, Bowman, North Dakota. Selling 75 head of bulls featuring Sons of Wolverine, Summit, Rimfire, Medrock Beaver Creek, and many more. Medicine Rocks and also Spring Angus invite you to their annual sale, April 25th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, Bowman Livestock Market, Bowman, North Dakota.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where we believe in investing in your business and your community. With our commercial loans, we understand the importance of supporting local businesses to help your business thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where your success is our priority.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated. There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. With a family that bases their entire operation on faith, honesty, and trust. You can see those values in their 30 plus years in the Red Angus breed. Schriefer Red Angus, the breed that generates a positive return on investment. SchrieferRedAngus.com. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals. Just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, the bank that puts community in its name. We're not just any bank, we're your trusted partner in lending. With a strong commitment to our local communities, we go above and beyond to support and uplift the areas we serve. From providing personalized lending solutions to supporting local businesses and organizations, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where the community is at the heartbeat of everything we do. Equal housing lender.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Good to have you along here this morning as we hopefully, crossing our fingers, we get some rain across the Dakota Territory later on here this evening. That's what I'm hoping for. Levi Nelson is my guest here. The best way I can explain it, you're an outdoor enthusiast, Levi, right? I mean, that's the easiest way. Best title we can give you. All right, hold on. Did I lose him? I think we lost him here. Let's see. Is this you, Levi?
Yep, I'm back. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, you're the best way to explain it is, you're like an outdoor enthusiast is the easiest way, right? All right. So some questions that we had before we went into break was, do you think the Game and Fish will still have their regulation on game management areas and public lands?
As far as baiting?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's not going to be legal to bait on public lands. Yeah, that won't happen.
Yeah. And also somebody said, shout out to Claude Dallas too. So on this here, but Dusty Backer definitely. And also it's Gordon Call time here. We got to lock up our land here. The reason we're saying that because what was the bill number for the antelope, pronghorn antelope?
That one I think 2155 maybe.
Yep, 2155. Yeah. So basically putting all the gratis tags into a landowner gratis, much like the elk tags are. And then if you don't get chosen, you can go into the regular draw for pronghorn antelope. So that passed.
Yeah, and that one really disappoints me. And it passed with a landslide.
Yeah,
that's the thing that was a quiet bill. You know, the 2137 got a lot of traction. You know, it was very popular. A lot of people knew about it. This one kind of slid in under the radar, and I don't think a lot of people knew what was going on.
Yeah, that one surprised me too. I didn't realize it until I was reading through here one time on the Game and Fish website here and looked that up. So, yeah, interesting. So there you go. Win one, lose one.
Right? Yeah, hopefully be back and change that one.
Yeah. Well, let's have a little fun talk about it. You're going to go to Africa, do a little hunting in Africa. Now, first and foremost, where are you headed to? Because I know there's so many different places in Africa to go to hunting. Which one are you going to?
So I'm going to South Africa with TDK Safaris.
Okay.
And it's kind of a funny story how I got in with these guys. Always visit or talk about Rusty's Saloon in St. Anthony. And I was in there visiting with some people, and I met this kid from South Africa. And of course, me as the hunter, I started talking about hunting with him, and he was telling me how I had to go and how he had family over there that ran an outfitter
Nice.
or ran a safari deal. Well, anyway, they came to Bismarck last year, and I went in to meet them, and I already kind of had an idea going in that I wanted to book it. And so I sat and visited with him for about an hour and a half, looked at pictures, discussed all the stuff. And before I left that day, I booked my trip with him for June of this year. And so I'm going to be going middle of June, and I'll be back right in time to start cutting alfalfa.
Yeah, all right. Well, you got alfalfa to cut? Holy cow.
I hope so.
That's awesome. So I'm on their webpage right now, TDK Safaris, and what are you going after? What's the game animals you're hunting here?
So I have a long list of animals. I don't want it to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip, but I want to look at it as this might be the only time I get to go to Africa. So on my list, I have waterbuck, sable, wildebeest, gemsbuck, zebra, impala, kudu, wildebeest, and blessbuck.
Holy cow.
Now, they're on my list doesn't mean I'm going to shoot them all.
So how does this work? If you see any one of those, you can shoot it. Do they tell you what you can or can't shoot? Is there trophy expenses if you get into a big trophy one, or how does that work?
So all the animals have a price tag on them. All these species, regardless of trophy size, they're the same price.
Okay.
All these animals, there's not a tag per se or a permit. There's a price tag on their head basically. And then I told them going into it, I said, I don't really care about trophy size because when I bring an Impala home to show my buddies, nobody's going to know if it's big or little. So I want to go and just have fun and experience Africa.
Yeah.
And the guy that actually grew up there is going with me and our friends. So we can experience it with a buddy that grew up there. So it'd be basically like him coming to hunt with me on my property.
That's interesting. Question comes in. Both of them asked the same question. Can you bring back any of the meat?
Nope. So no meat can be brought back from South Africa.
Okay.
They don't allow any of it because if it would even be feasible to bring back a couple back straps, I would do it, even if it would cost a lot. But it's not allowed at all. You can bring back your hides, skulls, horns, but that's it.
Do they do the taxidermy work over there, or are you going to have it sent back over here?
So you can have it done there, and they do a cheaper job mounting it. Cost-wise, it's cheaper to have them do it, but you're going to get bit by the shipping costs.
Yeah,
because it's going to be bigger and heavier. But I'm going to send it back to Jake Fenrick here in Mandan, does all my taxidermy work, and so I'm going to have him do all that. And depending on what I shoot, I'll probably European some, and I'll probably mount some.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's crazy. And say just for instance, do you get everyone or half of these on your list? That's going to be quite a shipping bill, isn't it?
Yep. It will be.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, that's why you make the big bucks there in Levi. It's exciting. So
you can't take the money with you when you go.
Nah, isn't that a truth? So I'm looking at this website that they have, and I didn't realize, when you hear about African hunts, usually there's always, what is it, Zimbabwe or Namibia or how do you pronounce it?
Botswana.
Yeah, Botswana. All those is what you usually hear because that's what I'm selling at auctions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I didn't realize South Africa had, quite a bit of hunting down that way too. Now, is this privately owned? How does this work?
Yep. So they're called concessions. They're basically big farms, and a lot of these concessions run cattle on them as well. And then they have these game animals on them as well. And there's a lot of, I'd say the majority of these places in Africa are high fenced, but they're in different concessions that are high fenced to keep animals in and poachers out.
Right.
So it's not like, going down to Texas and you have a 2,000 acres of high fence you're hunting. It's not like that, but technically it's still high fence in a lot of these areas.
It's just different high fence. I don't worry about the high fence thing. You know, in America, everybody's in an uproar on that stuff until you go and you see sometimes these high fences are in like 10,000 acres.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like it's just people, but down in Africa, over in Africa, poaching is a big deal. I mean,
Yep.
there's money on all these antlers, ivory, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's big black market money.
Well, and the only reason that these animals are being protected is because of people like me that are going over there to hunt, and them animals are generating money that keeps them from getting poached. Because if we didn't go over there and hunt, there'd be no reason for these animals to be there. They're eating the resources just like the cattle are,
Mhm.
and if there's no financial gain from these animals being there, they'd be exterminating all of them.
Yeah, well, let's go to some of the questions. Can you do they have EHD or CWD over in South Africa? Do you know anything about that?
Not that I know of.
Can you are you going to take your gun or their gun or archery?
I'm going full archery. I'm taking just my bow, but I've discussed it with the PH, as they call him, the professional hunter,
Yep.
or the guide. I said if I get my teeth kicked in for the first 5 days, I'm going to borrow a 300 Win Mag, and we're gonna change things up.
Yeah, exactly. And well, anyway, we got more questions here coming up here, and we'll cover those questions and more. We got text message. If you have questions, you want to 701-425-6651. I'm live chatting on YouTube, or you can call in 888-9-DAKOTA, our toll-free number here. It'll automatically put you on hold, and we'll get to you. Levi Nelson's my guest, talking hunting in South Africa with TDK Safaris. If you want to check them out, we'll be back with more information and more Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition after these messages.
Celebrating 25 years of results, Piper's Auctioneers is your trusted partner for farm and heavy equipment auctions across the upper Midwest. Coming up next, Piper's Regional Equipment Auction in Steele on April 15th and 16th, the Lee Farm Retirement Auction in Berthold on April 17th, and an incredible farm retirement auction in Drake alongside a commercial real estate and estate equipment auction in Mandan on April 24th and 25th. For full details, information, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions across the region, log on to pipers.com.
Medicine Rocks Angus Ranch and Spring Angus out of Ekalaka, Montana remind you about their sale coming up April 25th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, Bowman Livestock Market, Bowman, North Dakota. Selling 75 head of bulls featuring Sons of Wolverine, Summit, Rimfire, Medrock, Beaver Creek, and many more. Medicine Rocks and also Spring Angus invite you to their annual sale, April 25th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, Bowman Livestock Market, Bowman, North Dakota.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where we believe in investing in your business and your community. With our commercial loans, we understand the importance of supporting local businesses to help your business thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where your success is our priority.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's your tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated. There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. With a family that bases their entire operation on faith, honesty, and trust. You can see those values in their 30 plus years in the Red Angus breed. Schriefer Red Angus, the breed that generates a positive return on investment. SchrieferRedAngus.com. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals. Just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, the bank that puts community in its name. We're not just any bank. We're your trusted partner in lending. With a strong commitment to our local communities, we go above and beyond to support and uplift the areas we serve. From providing personalized lending solutions to supporting local businesses and organizations, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where the community is at the heartbeat of everything we do. Equal housing lender.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, all across the Dakota Territory. And Levi Nelson is headed his way in June to TDK Safaris in South Africa, and we're talking a little bit more about that. And some questions coming in here from 701 Nation. Suppressors, illegal in South Africa or not?
They actually are not illegal in South Africa. And the funny thing is, in South Africa, you can go into the sporting goods stores and buy a suppressor over the counter, no big deal.
As it should
Just
be.
like, but buying a gun is like how our suppressor buying used to be, where it was like a month-long process to get approved.
Oh, really?
So it's totally backwards there.
Huh. Well, I tell you what, suppressors, I don't know why that they're not over the counter anyway. I just
they're getting way better though. I just bought one.
Yeah.
I bought one in March and I got approved in 36 hours.
36. Nice.
Yep.
I got to start getting. I'd like to get more caliber specific, is what I would like to do, and just instead of having just my 30 cal. But anyway, why not a giraffe? Why not an elephant? Is that possible?
Yeah, they are possible. And actually, I visited with them about a giraffe, and they're not as expensive as the guy thought. And so I really hope one doesn't walk in front of me while I'm sitting there, because I might be a little tempted. The only thing holding me back right now is I have no place to put a giraffe. But a lot of people might be off put by that, hearing like, oh my gosh, he wants to shoot a giraffe. They need to be managed as well. And there's a lot of people that go to South Africa with the same mindset, like, I don't want to shoot a giraffe. Therefore, they lose their value. And they're destructive. They're a big animal. Yep. They eat a lot. And so if you don't put a price on their head, they don't get taken care of.
And I was going to talk to you about that. Remember years ago that she was a young gal, little blonde gal that shot a lion. And oh my God, I can't believe you shot a lion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lions, elephants, zebras, giraffes, all of these in this country that you're going to have to be managed, and some of them get out of hand. Like
exactly.
You take some of these elephants, I mean, they get to a point where they get destructive and they get mean. And could you imagine trying to ranch, waking up in the morning, and I sit there and complain about elk jumping and breaking my fence down. Could you imagine waking up in the morning and you see a kind of a PO'd elephant staring you down and you're trying to ride out and check cows?
They'd wreck a lot more fences.
I would say so, yeah. but this is all part of management, and it's like you said, the money's going to fend off poachers for the most part. I think that's the biggest thing. So,
and then like those rural areas out there, they rely on this to make money.
Yep.
I mean, it's no different than here, except the money means more to them than here. You know, they're a lot. The money goes a lot further over there, I should say.
So, can you share with us what an animal costs? Do you have to pay per animal, or is it just a lump sum? And if you take them, you take them. If you don't, you still pay that money. How does that work?
So you pay by the animal. So
Okay.
I bought a package for going over there, and that was kind of my thoughts too. So if I don't shoot them, do I still pay the whole package price? And nope. So you have a set amount of price for being there. So I'm going to be there for 10 days.
Okay.
So I have basically my lodging and food and all that is one price. And then each animal has got a price on it. So with the animals in my package, if I want to substitute, I can. If I don't shoot them, I don't pay. Stuff like that. Like they make it so easy in Africa for one, they make it really easy to spend money if you want to, but they make it as cheap as you want to do it, and as basically as fun as you want to do it. I mean, any style of hunting you want to do, you can basically do.
Blow darts.
Yeah, everything's legal over there.
I know. Yeah.
Spear.
Yeah, spear. Yeah. Just a knife in between your teeth and wrestle them down to the ground, Levi.
I'm going to stick with my bow.
So 701 Nation says just build another shop for your giraffe.
Yeah.
But here's what I would do. So you just bust a hole through your roof and have it up through like a skylight, man. Have it hanging out on top. Really make people talk when they drive by your place.
Right. I thought about just Euroing it and making a bunch of pillows.
There you go. Make seat covers for your vehicle.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I would do. You know, for a lot of that, the hides is what it looks really cool on a lot of that stuff. You know, like a giraffe. I mean, it's not, you don't have antlers or anything really that you look at there, but their hide is so cool.
Mm-hmm. And actually, my number one animal going over to South Africa is a zebra. And for a long time, I wanted to mount it, and now I've gotten to see some of the rugs that they've made, and that's what I want to do. Is I want to get a rug if I am able to shoot a zebra. Yeah,
that's what Jesse just posted here. He says, "Make a rug."
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be exciting. And so, could you share what one animal? What's a kudu cost?
So kudu is going to be one of your higher priced plains game, as they call it. So you're looking for a kudu, you're looking at anywhere between $3,000 to $4,500, depending on the place.
It is. How about what's a cheaper animal, like a warthog?
Warthog impalas, you're talking a couple $100.
Oh, so it can get pretty cheap then. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, and people, everybody thinks of going to Africa, they're like, holy smokes, that's expensive. That, you know, well, I can tell you, I booked this hunt for my original package was 7 animals. And then later that year, I booked a trip to Alaska, unguided for 2 animals, a drop hunt, and the Alaska hunt cost more. So just put that into perspective. You know, it's on the other side of the world, but it's cheaper than going to Alaska.
Until you, is that factoring in bringing animals back?
It is.
It is.
Because bringing your stuff back from Alaska is very expensive as well, because you are bringing your meat back in most cases from Alaska.
Yeah. Yeah. When we were up there, we shipped back all the rockfish and with other stuff that we got there. And that was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was expensive. I'm getting some fire messages coming in on my phone, which is never a good thing when you hear that coming in on your phone. Okay, looking here. Let's see here. My brother made billfolds out of his ostrich hide. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I've heard ostrich tastes amazing. And so we can eat as much of the meat as we want while we're there. So we're hopefully going to be trying everything. But ostrich is supposedly very good.
I think you can make anything taste good. But I am a big wild game fan here. So when you started out saying that all the animals that's on your bucket list over there, Riley
Mhm.
Schriefer said the way he's talking, he must have $150,000 when he's going over there.
No, not quite. There's some animals that I would really like, but they were not in my budget for this trip. But I definitely would like to go again sometime in my lifetime, as long as this trip goes well.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you should get a pair of boots made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another idea.
Those
And
exotics.
everybody I've talked to that's gone to Africa has told me that it was an amazing experience and they would want to go back.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody say they don't want to go back, except for the people that hated the flight.
It is a long flight. So explain that. You got, I'm guessing Bismarck, Minneapolis to where?
So we're flying from Bismarck to Dallas,
Dallas,
and then we're going from Dallas to London, and then London to Johannesburg. You can go straight from Minneapolis, Dallas to Johannesburg, but I did not really want to be on a flight that long, so we broke it up to go to London.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you. Oh, 701 Nation African hunt's probably costing less than Scott's new Burris illuminated scope that he wants. I doubt that.
Well, it depends on the animals you want to shoot.
Yeah. No, it's
I
exciting.
see a lot of these at auctions that go for pretty cheap. And,
That's
relatively the
Yeah.
flights over there, I screwed up, this being my first trip, and I wasn't best at asking advice. I booked my flights early. Well, turns out the closer you get to the flights, the cheaper they get, because the people that are going with me booked later, and they got their flights for almost half what I paid.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So live and learn.
Hey, but you don't know that. I mean, until you, that could get a little bit dicey too. Maybe there's not going to be those flights.
Mhm.
Booking
But
early.
like
I would agree with you.
John always says, the P in my name stands for patience. So
Oh, it'll be fun. It'll be exciting for that, except the flight, I guess. The big thing, are you flying first class? Because then you have the leg room and expand out a little bit more.
So I went against the first class because I'd rather spend the money on the hunts than the travel. And I think all hunts should have a little bit of a level of uncomfortable to them. And I think every other part of this trip is going to be pretty bougie. So I figured I can suck it up and ride in the economy class.
Oh man. Let's see here. That sounds like a lot of fun. Wayne says, make sure to keep us posted on the cuisine here. The mayor says, want to know what's at the lodge and how the lodge is and all this. And a lot of people don't know that. I mean, the pictures on here look like it's pretty darn nice place to stay too.
Mm-hmm. And so I've gotten to be really good friends with the PH that will be with me during this trip. And he's going to be filming it all so that we can come back and show everybody in North Dakota that would be interested in going. Because the last 2 years, they have come to Bismarck Mandan and put on a informational for people to learn about it in the book. And we just haven't got a whole lot of traction yet. And so hopefully after this one, we'll come back with the film and be able to show people and hopefully I'll be booking again in the coming years.
Yeah. Well, it's always been one of those things at the auctions. I think I've taken the African hunts up to quite a bit close to what it sold for just myself, because every time that I sell one of these, I look at my wife and she's like, let's go. She said, I'll just sit back at the place and you can go hunt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they have a lot of things for people that don't necessarily want to hunt too. They have the visual safaris. They have different rehab facilities for animals out there. They have a lot of different things to keep you occupied. It doesn't have to be just hunting. Now, I have a one-track mind, so I know what I'll be doing the whole time I'm there, but my girlfriend and some friends are going with, and so, it won't be 100% hunting for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, just a safari, just driving around and looking at different landscape, just different animals too. I mean,
yeah, it's just a different place. Yeah. They have way more species of animals than we have, and just the landscape and how the different vegetation is, like the whole experience is what I'm excited for.
Okay, so now Riley's telling he's so you got to remember his wife is a travel agent. Okay.
Yep. All travel matters.
Okay, so he says you should always get first class, especially when traveling over the pond. He said it's so much a zero to little jet lag when you get to where you're going. And if I was going to be hunting, I don't want to have jet lag. So That's a good reason right there. First class,
That's
baby.
good to know.
So you let me know how it goes the first time, and then next year I'm going to book a trip with these guys and see. My problem is I'm only going to do the one. Do they have like a one animal package?
If you do it with other people, you could shoot as many or as few animals as you'd want.
Yeah, it'd be tough when you see something right in your sights though, and you'd be like, golly.
I heard lots of stories about what John and Kurt and Jason and them went over there. And I think Jason ended up shooting more than what was on his list.
So I got to tell a story about a buddy from up in Williston. Remember when the Bakken was rocking, and it was I'm not going to say his name, older gentleman, right? And I met him going to all the Friends of NRA banquets and doing all the auctions. He had a lot of wells. Okay, he was doing well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and he bought one of these. I sold it, and he bought one of these. One of the first African safari type things, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll buy it." And when he got back from it, he told me the story. He said when he went over, he was sitting in a blind, and I can't remember what came up. It was an elephant or giraffe or something like that. It was a big animal. And his personal professional hunter PH guy said, no. He says, you can't afford that. And he said, well, how much is it? And the PH said, he said, trust me, you can't afford it. And he lifts his gun up and he shoots it and it drops down to the ground. He said, now how much is it? And he said the PH hunter's eyes open. And he realized who he was dealing with all of a sudden. He's
oh boy, that will not be me.
I think he's went back to that same guy. I think they have a cabin named after him now. So, yeah.
Oh wow. I did tell my banker he better have me or have his phone on when I'm over there. Might need to call him once in a while.
Banker.
How much do I got left?
Yeah, how much? Yeah. So, well, I tell you, good luck to you. I really do wish the best of you. It's too bad you couldn't bring some of the meat back because I would like to try some of this stuff. I really would. And it's too bad again, but you can. I think they take some of the meat and they use it there, and then I think they donate. Don't they give this meat away to a lot of people?
Yep. So, and we're going to be a part of that. We're going to go. There's orphanages there, and there's different tribes that you can take your meat to,
okay,
and donate it. And I want to experience that too. But yeah, we get to eat as much of it as we want in camp.
And you're going to probably eat a little bit of everything, I would guess.
Oh yeah,
you're kind of a foodie.
I'll try anything once.
Yeah, you're kind of the foodie kind of guy. So, what kind of nastiness do they have over there? Like snakes, scorpions? What do you have to watch out for that's smaller but deadly?
Yep. So like it's widely known like with their mosquitoes and stuff, the different diseases. But the thing that a lot of people don't realize, like we're going over in the summer, that's their winter, and so you're not having the bugs out there that you normally have. Snakes are hiding, trying to avoid the cold weather. Because even in the mornings over there, when we're going, it'll be 30, 40 degrees in the morning.
Okay.
So when we're going, the likelihood of finding them isn't very good. But I know I did ask the PH if the snakes are still around. He said, if you flip enough rocks, you'll find one. I said, well, that wouldn't be too bad. It'd be kind of cool to see one.
Well, what kind of do they have? Like cobras or what are they?
Black mambas are the big ones.
They got black mambas. Yeah, that's a bad one. Yeah.
But I know there's other species of snakes because Andre said they're all black mambas until they're dead.
I'd be carrying a side pistol with all the time on those things, man. But yeah. Okay. Shots? Did you have to get any type of immunizations for going over there?
Nope. So you don't. For the area we're going to, you do not have to.
Okay. Do they recommend anything or not?
Not for this time of year. If we'd be going in their summer, it's recommended.
Okay.
But not mandatory.
So all the flat earthers want you to know for sure, flush the toilet, see if it turns the other way. Because it shouldn't, right? Oh, what else here? Zebra loins are the best. So
I definitely want to eat them. I've had horse and I like that. So
yeah, I said that to somebody. I said I tried horse when I was in South Korea. They were like, "You ate horse?" They almost thought it was disgusting. And I was like, "You realize it's a really high class type of. It's expensive meat in some countries."
I took horse sausage to high school, and after everybody found out what it was, there was a lot of people thinking about butchering horses after that deal.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, best of luck to you. And it's all archery, which is exciting because you know you're going to have to be a lot closer than with a rifle.
hmm And by the end of the week, the end of the trip, we might switch to a rifle too. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's always nice using somebody else's rifle because then if a black mama does come after you, you can use that to smack it on the ground with.
can't wreck it too much. If I kill one of them, I want it mounted.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, that would be a good hat band, a belt, or whatever it is. A black mamba would be awesome. Well, best of luck to you again. It says TDK Safaris, and they come across up in this area quite a bit. It'd be interesting to see how you like it, and when you come back, well, it'd be fun to do a Saturday morning show for over there. But I don't know the time difference and how that would work out.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of a time difference.
Yeah,
I know,
it's like 15 hours or something like that, or
yeah, I know it works really good when I'm on night shift to conversate with them guys.
Fair enough. Well, Levi, best of luck to you on that. And, to get the videos back, are some of them going to be on Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV? Are they thinking about using some of them, or?
I'm not sure yet. I guess we haven't talked with John about it, but there's definitely a chance.
There's a chance of that. Well, thank you so much for being on the program. Have yourself a safe drive and flight over there. And I'm sure we'll talk here before you leave. Branding is May 30th, by the way.
Sounds good.
All right. Levi Nelson here, heading to South Africa in June here. Well, we'll see what's happening on that, plus more. You can catch my daily program on all these great radio stations. Have yourself a great weekend, everybody. Eat some meat, drink some milk, wear fur and wool, and support your farmers and ranchers and private landowners. All right, stations. Thank you, Levi. Thanks again, man. Appreciate that.
You bet.
Josh says, good luck. Dead Wolf Resistance says he was a flat earther, but he could never get his mind around it.
That's a good one.
So I had an argument with a flat earther. I said, well, bring your map out. Show me your map. And he brought the map out. And I said, okay, so if you're going to fly, I think it was like, I can't remember. It was like Australia to, the two furthest away points. Like Alaska, I think it was Alaska to Australia. I said, you're telling me that this flight, it should be like a 24-hour flight. But it only lasts, so many hours to do it because you're going around the other way. And they couldn't wrap their head around the concept right there when you start bringing in flights and why they fly this certain direction. So yeah, Brian Water says get them. Good luck. Waylon Turner says good luck here.
Okay.
Don't steal that. That's copyrighted. Waylon says a good friend of mine from New Rockford was just in South Africa. It's saying at John X Safaris was his second time to South Africa. He says it's a great time.
There's so many outfitters over there. It's insane.
I think if you own any land, you are an outfitter.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that TDK is going to be the one that I want to stick with. And talking with I talked to Andre quite a bit, and I can basically hunt anything I want over there through them. They don't have everything on their concession, but he has partners in different areas like Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Botswana, like places that we can go. Because my goal, long term, is to shoot the African 29, which is a big goal. And my goal is to shoot the North American 29, and that's probably not financially feasible, but
yeah,
big goals anyway. So, in a perfect world, I'd be able to do all of them with Andre, and that'd be pretty fun.
Going over to South Africa here. Yeah, you're way down in the south. What town?
So I'm like 2.5 hours northwest of Johannesburg.
Okay. All right. Golly.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting car ride when they pick us up from the airport.
There's not many highways out there.
And from what I hear, Johannesburg is absolutely insane. It is humongous.
Yeah, it looks big.
But yeah, Jan, he worked for Daryl Earhart in Flasher for a while, and then he married a gal from St. Anthony. And so that's how I got to know him, and he's going with us. I think that's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
And then, so like they have a lot of monkeys, and I had told them right away, I said, I have zero interest in shooting a monkey. It's too human-like. I'm not interested.
Aren't they like prairie dogs?
That's what they say, but prairie dogs don't look like people.
I don't think a monkey looks like people, but.
Oh, there was a video on YouTube. Josh Bolmar shot a baboon with his bow, and it hit him right in the center of the chest. And that baboon grabbed the arrow and screamed like a human. And I'm like, nope, not happening. So their big joke right now is they're going to hold me down and make me shoot a baboon.
Well, okay, a baboon, I'd be shooting all of them. They are just mean-looking little buggers.
Well, and they said that they're nasty. They'll come into them tribes in the rural areas and snatch kids.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's Keith Warren, when I visited his place down in Texas and went to his office. So I don't know if you've ever seen that video of when he arrowed a baboon.
I don't know if I've seen that.
So they threw a whole bunch of apples out there, and this baboon was picking up apples. He had a couple under his armpit, this and this, and he was holding the, and Keith actually shot through the apple right into him. And so when he got it, he had this thing mounted, life-size mount.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk into his office, it's standing there holding an apple, looking at you.
Oh, yeah, no, thank you.
Well,
but they have thermals and stuff too, and so they said that we'll go out at night and
nice.
Hunt hyenas and stuff with thermals. And velvet monkeys are another one that they said they're really hard on their bird species because they get into the trees and they eat the eggs. And so they'll go out at night with thermals and shoot them monkeys.
Velvet monkeys.
Yeah.
I have to look this up because I've never seen that.
They're little. They're smaller monkeys.
Oh, good grief. I don't care, AI. They try to take over everything when I type in.
Oh, I hate that.
Velvet monkeys. Sounds like a good name for a pop music group. Velvet monkey. Yeah, they are. Okay. About the size, they're just a little bit bigger than a cat. Like a domestic
they're not real
cat.
big.
Okay.
But so we'll see how that goes. And I know like John and them guys, when they went over there, they were shooting guineas. They're driving around on them Land Cruisers and they're sitting on top and they're shooting guineas while they're driving.
Yes.
I was like, that sounds kind of fun.
Damn right.
But, and I told them, like, there's so many guys that go to these outfitters over there that are rich guys that are just going to stack animals and want trophy animals. And I said, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I said, I want to go over there and experience Africa with you guys like I was just one of your buddies. I said, I want to go around and drive around at night and have fun and sit around the fire and drink a couple beers and just visit. And I mean, I want to experience Africa with Africans.
Yeah. Yeah. Get immersed in the culture a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm looking forward to it. This has been a dream of mine ever since I watched John and them guys go to Africa when I was little.
Yeah.
And I'm at a point in my life where I'm not married, don't have kids, I can afford to go, and who knows what the future holds. I mean, eventually we might not be able to hunt over there. And so I want to do it while I can afford it. And
hell, we might not be able to hunt on our own property here.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to go to Africa.
And John gives me crap all the time for all the hunting I try to do, and it's like, it's not promised. We're not going to be able to do it forever, and everybody's seeing how hard it is to get tags places, and so I want to hunt as much as I can while I can.
Yeah. So here's something that my wife and I were talking about too, and a neighbor of ours. You know, a lot of people, they work their ass off, and they go, and they're like, you know, when I retire, I want to go travel, right? That's one of the big things. Well, my neighbor's dad was that guy, right? Work, and then he did not want to go anywhere. And finally one of his buddies took him to Hawaii, and he absolutely loved it. Well, that only lasted for a couple years. Now he's got some health issues and dementia, and can't travel anymore. Now there is no traveling. So
exactly,
do it when you're young. That way, when you get older, you got the stories. If you still can travel, go ahead and do it, but do it when you're young. Go and have fun, man.
Yeah, and while you can enjoy it.
Exactly.
You know, I could wait 20 years to be able to afford to go to Alaska and go hunt moose and caribou. Them prices have doubled already in my lifetime. what are they going to be at that age or when I'm that age? And who says I'm going to be able to do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why for 2026, I booked a moose and caribou float.
Nice.
So I can go experience that. And then the caribou numbers are drastically dropping. And so there's a good likelihood the next 10, 15 years, your opportunities to hunt them won't be there. Just like the Quebec Labrador caribou that John and them guys went up and hunted, you can't even get a tag for them anymore.
Wow. You know, one thing that's on my list is red stag in New Zealand.
I'm actually watching quite a few auctions in the next couple months, trying to jump on a New Zealand hunt relatively cheaper than I can just buy one across the board.
Yeah.
And a tar would be cool, but I lost a lot of interest in them when I found out like all the big ones you see are coming from farms, or high fence farms.
Yep.
But the one animal that is like top animal that I want to hunt is a Himalayan tar. That one is so high on my list. That and ibex in Kyrgyzstan or Tajikistan are very high on my list.
Yeah, for me, I'm probably just going to go back down to Texas and try to get one of those hunts.
Yeah, that's something I'd like to do too. I've never gotten to do that.
My next one, I'm trying to save some money so I can do the helicopter hog hunt. It's so expensive.
I see them in auctions too.
So expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, them are like $800 for an hour, aren't they?
Oh, the one I was looking at was $4,000
for an hour.
Yeah.
Hosta.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I got to take a look at what auction site do you use?
Online hunting auctions is the one that I watch all the time. It's probably not real good for me because I tend to spend a little bit of money on them, but
it's what auctions are for, man. It's what auctions are for.
I know it's kind of early, but the SCI banquet here in Bismarck, Bandit will be the end of July, and they had their first one last year, the Theodore Roosevelt chapter of the SCI, and they had an incredible auction. My neighbor and I actually bought 2 hunts on that.
Nice.
We bought a Sitka blacktail hunt for this year, and then we bought a Arizona cruise deer hunt that we're upgrading to a mountain lion hunt.
Yes. There you go. Wayne says get a Gemsbach or an Aoudad tag in New Mexico.
Yes, I apply for them.
Yeah.
One of these years. I actually apply for everything in New Mexico. Ibex, Oryx, Aoudad, Bighorn sheep, all of them. That one's expensive.
Yeah.
That state hurts when that hits your credit card.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I suppose, man, I got to go check cows and get things ready to go for the day.
Well, sounds good. I'm going to check my cameras and I'm going to head to bed.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Have a good day.
Yep, you as well.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
All right, YouTubers. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate that, man. Have yourself a good day. Enjoy. And I'm batching it this weekend, man. So I think I might head into Amadon for a little feed and maybe Golva. I can't tell. It's about the same distance no matter which way I go here. But I tried to cook for myself last night. Didn't work. It did not turn out good. So have yourself a good one. Catch you guys later.